Hello students, welcome to LEELA'S tutorial. So till now in Plant Biotechnology we have discussed about the plants which are introduced with a gene of interest, and we have produced the clone of plants or by micropropagation, which all are diploid, right? That means the diploid means they consist of two sets of chromosomes. Today we will discuss about the production of haploid plants, right? So here these haploid plants inherit only the chromosomes of single parent, okay, either the male parent or the female parent. So let us see in detail. Here you can see first, see the structure of the flower, right? So in the flower these are the parts. Here you have the gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female reproductive system, and the andrecium, which is male reproductive system, right? So here in this flower you can see this is the stigma, right? So here you can say this is the female and this is the male, right? So in the female reproductive system you can see stigma, style and ovary with ovule, right? Whereas in case of male you can see only the filament and the anther with pollen grains. Okay, so here in case of natural fertilization, right, or natural pollination process, either it can be a self-pollination or the cross-pollination, or it can be a wind pollination or some other means of pollination. So what happens? The pollen grains which are produced, when the pollen grains will be produced when the anther is getting matured. Right? When the anther is getting matured, the pollen grains enter into the stigma of the gynoecium, right? So here they pass through the stigma and fertilization occurs in this ovary, right? So now here in this ovary, after fertilization, this transforms into an developing embryo, later transforms into a fruit. Ovary into a fruit and ovules into a seeds, right? So that is the mode of natural process or natural fertilization. So here you can see the plant or the flower is a diploid, and also the fruit which has been developed after fertilization is also a diploid. So when you sow the seeds of that fruit, it will give rise to a diploid plant. But here in this case we are not using both the male and female gametes. Either we are making use of male gametes or only the female gametes to produce these haploid plants. Is that clear? That means here the male gamete consists of only one set of chromosomes, that is n number of chromosomes, and the female consists of only n number of chromosomes. Right? When the male and the female gametes get fertilized, right, after pollination, they give rise to diploid fruit, right, which consists of 2n number of chromosomes. But here we are using only, in this case I am talking about only the anther and the pollen grains, right? So here we are going to produce only the androgenic haploid. So today we will discuss about the haploid plants which are produced from the male gamete. Okay, so here now I am going to take only the andrecium and produce the plantlets. That means if I am taking only the andrecium, this is a gamete which consists of only n number of chromosomes, that is haploid number of chromosomes are present. So if I produce the plantlets from this single parent, then I call those plants as haploid plants. If I produce them from the male gamete, then I call them as androgenic haploids, right? So next class we will discuss about the gynogenic haploids, where we are going to use only unfertilized ovaries, right? So here let us see first, these gametes are haploid. So as I told, the parent consists of a diploid number of chromosomes, right? Both the male and female consists of diploid number of chromosomes, but the gametes consist of only one set, that is haploid number of chromosomes. That is because of the reduction division, that is meiosis. So the parent cell, though they are diploid, they will produce the gametes by means of meiotic division and here the diploid will become the haploid gametes. Now these haploid gametes fuse to give rise to a diploid progeny, right? So here in this case, when the gametes are produced, they are diploid. That means half of the chromosomes are inherited from one parent and another half of the chromosomes are inherited from the another parent. So the child or the progeny will have what? The diploid number of, that is 2n number of chromosomes, right? But here in this case, we are making use of only the male gamete, either the anther or the pollen, right? So when you culture them and produce the plantlets, they are referred as haploid plants or androgenic haploids because they are produced from the andrecium, right? Andrecium, that is the male gamete or the male reproductive part. Okay. So here if you go into the technique, first here you are going to collect the flower buds. Right. So here I have shown you the flower in order to show you the parts of the flower. But normally we take the closed flower bud so that there will not be any air contamination. And also these after flower or the flower bud is opened, the anthers may lose their maturity. So what they do, we collect the flower buds and collect the anthers and allow them to get matured on the media. Okay, so here first we will talk about the anther culture, then we will talk about the pollen culture. So here in this anther culture, you are going to see here, I have shown this, right? This is the andrecium consisting of filament and the anther with pollen grains. So here I have shown filament, anther with pollen grains, right? So here if I am going to take the anther, so I am going to trim this part and collect this anther along with the pollen grains and inoculate them. That means the plating of anthers over this plant tissue culture media, right? So it is a semi-solid plant tissue culture media which provides all the nutrients with suitable temperature and all other environmental conditions. So now once you plate these, you allow them to undergo incubation process so that they transform into callus. When the anthers will transform into callus, when you have auxin to cytokinin ratio 1:1. When the auxin or the growth hormones are equal, both auxin and cytokinin are equal proportion, then the cells will transform into a callus, that is unorganized mass of cells. So now these unorganized mass of cells will transform into a embryo, right? Due to certain nutrient conditions, here the callus will gradually transform into embryo, which is initial stage is the globular shaped embryo, heart shaped embryo, torpedo shaped embryo. Now these torpedo shaped embryos are cultured in plant tissue culture media to produce the plantlets. Is that clear? So here after that it is the hardening process. Okay, so let us see this one. In case of pollen culture, here when you are going to take pollen, when the anther is much more bigger in size. So when the anther is much more bigger in size, you can't culture them conveniently. So what you do, you want only these pollen grains, right? So now you are going to trim this filament and suspend them. Either you are going to tap them gently to collect the pollen, otherwise trim the anther, right, and immerse them in the extraction solution so that all the pollen grains will be suspended. Then allow it to centrifuge. So anthers present will be collected as a pellet and removed, and the supernatant consists of your pollen grains. So after centrifugation, these pollen grains are inoculated on semi-solid media, either on semi-solid media or in the liquid media. Then these pollen grains will develop into an pollen embryos. So these pollen embryos, when they are incubated in plant tissue culture lab under favorable condition and nutrient conditions, they result in formation of root and shoot system. So now you can see either by using the anther culture or by using your pollen culture, you can produce your haploid plantlets which can be gradually transferred to the soil. Okay, so now you can see these are the androgenic haploid plants which consists of only one set of chromosomes which are inherited from the single parent. In this case, as these are androgenic haploids, the chromosomes or the single set of chromosomes are inherited from the male parent. Is that clear? If you have any doubts, put it in comments and subscribe for further videos.